To the women he seduced and sometimes murdered, he was the old maid's dream. A bachelor, of course, but a bachelor nursing some secret sorrow. A wounded hero, keeping himself pure for some chaste virgin who would dry his tears and walk with him hand in hand into the rosy glow of an everlasting sunset. In short, the dream came true of many a lonely, dowdied, neglected spinster, pushing middle age and terrified of ending up on the shelf. To contemporary journalists, he was quite simply super-cad, the multiple bigamist, a man who lived off women, seducing them, relieving them of their pitiful savings if they had any, sending them out to steal for him if they had none, on 3 occasions murdering them. The Bluebeard of the Bath, George Joseph Smith, alias Baker, alias Williams, alias Rose, alias Lloyd, and most inappropriately of all, alias Love.
I denounced her. I'm telling you straight, I denounced her. She was an whore. What'd they do to Jezebel? They thrown her down, right? I'm telling you straight. They thrown her down for the dogs to eat. And I bet you them little dogs laugh to see such fun, right?
To George Joseph Smith, the word love had little meaning, except once, and that was some 9 years before this case opened, in July 1906, in the city of Bristol, when a Miss Edith Mabel Pegler advertised for a position as housekeeper in a respectable home where a servant was kept. Smith answered the advertisement, and Miss Pegler accepted the post of housekeeper for him, and within a week had agreed to marry him. Bigamously, of course, on his part.
One under you, sir, and one under you.
And who have we here? The surviving spouse, the lucky little lady that got away.
Mrs. Smith, to you, sir.
And what does the lucky Mrs. Smith bought with Georgie Porgy today? Don't tell me, let me guess. Jemmy, Axel, bunch of skeleton keys.
Wrong again, sir. Strawberries. A lardy cake. He does like a nice bit of Bristol lardy cake. And a jar of damson cheese.
Damson cheese. Now that takes me back. I haven't tasted none of this in 30 years.
Then you must get your wife to make you some. I'm certain she knows how.
So. Mrs. Smith to see you, sir.
Capital, capital. Which one?
Now that's naughty, Georgie Porgy. You've always said I was the only one for you.
And so you are, my dear, so you are. Above rubies. A good woman's price is above rubies. And you are the best woman in the world.
Well, I haven't bought you no rubies today, dear. Just the first strawberries from our own little garden. A nice piece of Bristol lardy cake. And some lovely damson cheese.
You always were so clever, my little Oedipus. You always knew how to handle me. It's quite right what they tell you. The best way to a man's heart is through his stomach.
What follows now is a reconstruction of the trial of George Joseph Smith, based on the verbatim evidence of 120 witnesses given during a hearing which lasted 8 days. It is only where the action moves out of the courtroom that we have to resort to a little educated guesswork to look under the mask of the monster for what remains of the man.
Be upstanding. All persons having anything to do before my lords, the King's Justices of Oyer and Terminer and General Jail Delivery, draw near and give your attendance. God save the King and the King's Justices.
Mr. Justice Scrutton, later Lord Justice of Appeal, presides. For the prosecution, Mr. later Sir Archibald Bodkin, Mr. Travers Humphreys, and Mr. Cecil Whiteley. For the defence, Mr. later Sir Edward Marshall Hall, KC, suffering agonies from chronic phlebitis, his ill humour in no way improved by the knowledge that he's facing a long fight, with little prospect of winning for a client he detests, and all for the lordly sum of 17 guineas. Doctor, Later, Sir Bernard Pillsbury, pathologist, who as an expert witness is permitted to sit in court before he is called to give evidence.
Put up George Joseph Smith. George Joseph Smith, you are charged on indictment that you, on the 13th day of July in the year 1912, feloniously, wilfully, and of your malice aforethought, did kill and murder Bessie Constance Annie Mundy. Are you guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty, sir. I may be a bit peculiar, but I'm definitely not a murderer.
Silence!
May it please your lordship, the indictment put to my client and to which he has pleaded not guilty charges him with the murder of one woman, Miss Bessie Annie Constance Mundy, and one woman only. Now, my friend, and may I acknowledge at this stage my debt of gratitude to Mr. Bodkin for the courtesy and frankness which he has shown me while apprising me of his intention, proposes to introduce evidence not simply relating to the one murder, but to two others as well.
Yes. Mr. Bodkin, on what basis do you seek to do this?
In order to establish system, my lord. Each case follows a similar, if not identical, pattern. In each case, the prisoner goes through a bigamous form of marriage with a woman after the briefest possible courtship. In each case, the bride, so-called, writes to her relatives, describing her happiness and extolling the virtues of her most perfect husband. In each case, the prisoner takes the wife for a totally unnecessary visit to the doctor. In each case, husband and wife take furnished lodgings together, first making an inquiry about the availability of a bath. In each case, the bride is subsequently found drowned in this bath, and the coroner's inquest returns a verdict of death by misadventure. In each case, the prisoner is the sole beneficiary under the will of the deceased.
Yes, Mr. Marshal Hall, and what have you to say to me?
My lord, I have this to say. That never was your lordship called upon to determine so grave an issue.
I don't know about that. You and your brethren are saying it to me every day.
This issue goes far beyond the fate of one wretched prisoner in the dock at the Central Criminal Court. The whole principle of the presumption of innocence is at stake. Evidence of system is only admissible where a defence denying intent or the like is to be set up. Here no defence is necessary. There is no prima facie case to answer at all.
It's all very well, Mr. Marshal Hall, but how are you going to get round the Makin case?
I shall endeavour to distinguish it, my lord. In Makin, against the Attorney General for New South Wales, it was held that the mere fact that evidence adduced tends to show the commission of other crimes does not necessarily render by far that one guilty wretch should escape, utterly worthless and a danger to society though he may be, than that the necessity for his conviction should impair the common law.
I'm sorry, Mr. Marshal Hall, but I think the evidence is admissible. If I'm wrong, you must appeal me.
Well, that's it. He's as good as hanged already. All we can do now is go through the motions.
May it please your lordship, gentlemen of the jury, the subject of this indictment, Miss Bessie Constance Annie Mundy, was the daughter of a bank manager at Warminster, Wiltshire. Mr. Mundy died in 1904, leaving two children, George Howard Mundy and Bessie Constance. George Howard married and set up home in another part of the country, while Bessie Constance adopted from the time of her father's death that solitary kind of existence which many women adopt, living as paying guests or inmates of boarding houses in different parts of the country. Mr. Mundy was a man of some property when he died, and he left a share of it to Bessie. It amounted to over £2,500. By his will, he appointed his brother, Mr. Herbert Mundy, as executor, and also his son, George. In November 1905, the executors and the family solicitor thought it right from the inexperience and unbusinesslike habits and general characteristics of Miss Mundy, that there should be a voluntary settlement of her £2,500. The property consisted of shares and marketable stock. These were transferred to the trustees, and they paid the income to her for life. Miss Mundy could not, by deed during life, but could, by will at her death, dispose of the property.
Diabolical, very, very iniquitous, blinding her blooming hope of happiness.
Miss Mundy was living in a boarding house, existing on the modest income from the trust fund, which amounted to some £8 per month. In circumstances which are not known, she met the prisoner while he was passing as Henry Williams. After a very brief acquaintance, the prisoner persuaded Miss Mundy to go through a ceremony of marriage with him by special license at the local register office, the prisoner describing himself as a picture restorer. Afterwards, the couple were known as Mr. and Mrs. Williams. Within hours of this marriage, Mr. and Mrs. Williams were to be found in the office of Mr. Philip de Vere Annesley, solicitor of Herne Bay, in which town the happy couple had set up home together.
I said I should like to consider the whole question of whether the trust could be revoked, and the question of making wills in favour of one another.
Was Mr. Williams satisfied with this?
No, sir. He continued to press me to devise some way of releasing his wife's property forthwith. Accordingly, I agreed to take counsel's opinion on the matter, and I drafted 6 questions, which I duly sent to Mr. Spear, who specialises in probate matters, in the Temple.
Will you look at this document, Mr. Annesley? Exhibit 200, my lord. Is this the opinion which you requested, signed by my friend Mr. G.F. Spear of Paper Buildings Temple, and dated the 1st of July, 1912?
Yes, sir, it is. The donee of a general power of appointment exercisable by will can covenant not to revoke a will exercising the power.
Little did Mr. G.F. Spear of Paper Buildings Temple realize that his opinion was the signature on poor Miss Mundy's death warrant.
The courts regard married women jealously and discourage dealings with their property in favour of husbands. I think comparatively slight evidence of pressure on the part of the husband might induce the court to set aside a covenant of this nature, tying up a woman's power of disposition.
Did you show a copy of the opinion to the prisoner?
Yes, sir.
Did he make any comment upon it?
Oh, yes, sir. He seemed most displeased.
Yes, sir. My name is Mrs. Dolly Hill, and I'm an ironmonger carrying on business in Herne Bay. I recognise the prisoner. I first saw him in May 1912, and in July that year he inquired about a second-hand bath standing in my shop. I was asking £2 for it.
Did he buy the bath?
No, sir. But a couple of days after, his wife came in and offered me 37 shillings and sixpence, which I was prepared to accept.
Did you subsequently deliver the bath to the prisoner's lodgings?
Yes, sir. My son took it round himself.
Did you ever see the prisoner again?
Yes, sir. A few days later, he came into my shop and asked me to take the bath back again. Well, it hadn't been paid for. There was never nothing paid for it, so I took it back.
Mrs. Hill, have you seen this bath before?
Yes, sir. It's my bath, and I'd like it back as soon as you've done with it. I've got my living to get.
Oh, don't worry, Mrs. Hill. You shall have your bath back as soon as justice has been satisfied.
Yes, she's probably had an offer from Madame Tussaud for it. It was the woman who did the cheapening.
Yes, sir.
She got half a crown off.
Yes.
Dr. Frank Austin French of Herne Bay, who treated Bessie Mundy in July 1912.
The back of the head was against the sloping end of the bath, with the crown of the head just a little below the level of the top of the bath. The Bottom of the spine was resting on the bottom of the bath, and the legs were stretched straight out. The feet were actually out of the water.
Was the body straight, or was it inclined to one side or the other?
It was straight, my lord.
Yes, please continue, Dr. French.
I took her pulse. She was pulseless. Then, with Mr. Williams's assistance, I got her out of the bath. I laid her on her back and performed artificial respiration. She had false teeth. I removed these to facilitate this.
Was she dead?
Yes.
Did you form an opinion of the cause of death?
Yes, sir. From what I could see, I took the cause of death to be asphyxia caused by drowning. The following morning, I gave evidence to this effect at the inquest into her death.
Thank you, Dr. French. Please remain where you are.
Dr. French, you gave evidence at the coroner's inquest in July 1912.
Yes, sir.
Dr. French, did you say to the coroner her face was rather blue, as if she had met her death in the early stage of epilepsy? No signs of a struggle in any sort or shape, and in her hand a large piece of soap?
Yes, sir.
Did you also say this before the coroner? I think she had an epileptic seizure.
Yes.
And that was your honest opinion at that time?
It was.
If a woman was sitting in a bath, unapprehensive of any violence, and if someone were to take hold of both her feet at the bottom of the bath, and the bath were full of water, she would have ample opportunity, would she not, of putting her arms across to the outside of the bath to prevent her going under?
Yes.
Anybody would normally and naturally clutch the top of the bath.
Yes.
Well, do you think it would be possible to drown a woman of 5 feet, 9 inches in that bath unless she were unconscious or under the influence of a fit?
Yes, I do, if the legs were taken hold of by surprise. If you surprised the person in the bath and rapidly drew them away.
Did you make any examination of the body externally?
Yes. There were no marks upon it.
Ah.
She was a well-developed woman and in strong health, from what I could judge.
The woman at her death was she not, in a delicate time of the month?
Yes.
Which is most unusual, is it not, for a woman to take a bath at this time?
Most unusual.
Why is that?
There is no scientific or medical reason for it, my lord. Rather a deep-seated female superstition regarding the matter, particularly among the labouring classes.
Another old wives' tale.
Precisely, my lord.
My dear Marshal, I give you 10 out of 10 for trying, but I'm afraid that your horse won't run. You must stop listening to old wives' tales and brush up on a little elementary gynecology. Regards, Bernard Spilsbury.
My name is Carrie Esther Rapley. I live at Fairy Glen, Victoria Park, Herne Bay. I am clerk and secretary to Mr. Wilby, who owns house properties in Herne Bay, including 80 High Street. In May 1912, 80 High Street was to let unfurnished. On or about the 20th of May, a man giving the name of Henry Williams came to me regarding 80 High Street.
Where did he come?
My lord, I have a little office in Mr. Wilby's house. I have been there for 36.5 years.
Remarkable. Please continue, Mr. Bodkin.
And what did the man giving his name as Henry Williams want of you?
He wanted to rent the house, sir. I told him the rent was £18 per annum on a yearly tenancy. He said that would not suit, as he got his money monthly. I said, well, if it were merely a question of money, I was sure we could arrange matters. I then asked him how many people would occupy the house. He said, only my wife and I, no family. I then asked him the name of his previous landlord. He said, never had one. I then asked him for a solicitor's reference, but he could not give me one. I asked him if he had a bank account. On that, he put his hand into his coat pocket and pulled out a book.
Yeah, what sort of book?
Wait a minute, Mr. Bodkin, I'm coming to that. I looked at the cover of the book and said, oh, this is a post office savings bank book. I do not mean that sort. I held out my hand for the book, but he put it back, saying, "You need not be afraid. I have between 50 or 60 pounds in there." I said, "If you are going to furnish the house, that will not leave much to live on." He said, "Oh, but my wife has a private income paid monthly. I have not got anything but that. You see, I dabble in antiques." Speaking of his wife, he said, "I may as well tell you, she is a notch above me. She is the daughter of a bank manager. I met her in a boarding house. Her friends do not at all approve of the marriage."
To cut a long story short, did you and Mr. Williams eventually come to terms?
Yes, sir. Mr. Williams paid the first month's rent on the 20th of May, and I handed him the key of the front door.
After that, did you see the prisoner from time to time?
Yes, sir. He frequently came to the office on little things connected with the house.
Did you ever see Mrs. Williams?
Yes, sir, but it was mostly Mr. Williams, alone.
When did you first learn of Mrs. Williams' death?
It was on the 16th of July. I had no knowledge of the inquest being held the day before. Well, sir, on the morning of the 16th, I was in my office at Mr. Wilby's. In came the prisoner. He was extremely agitated. Immediately he got in, he came out to my desk, which is rather a high one, bent down his head and commenced to sob. I was very much surprised and asked him what was the matter. But he continued sobbing. I then said, "Has anything happened?" He looked up and said, "Have you not heard? She is dead." I said, "Who is dead?" He said, "My wife."
And what did you say to the prisoner?
Well, to tell you the truth, sir, I was so surprised and shocked I could not say anything. I simply stood there and looked at him. Then all at once he said, "Was it not a jolly good job I got her to make a will?"
Was it not a jolly good job I got her to make a will? And what did you say to that?
Well, sir, I still could not say anything. I was very much surprised, and he appeared angry that I didn't say anything. Then he said, "Well, is it not the correct thing when people marry for a wife to make a will leaving everything to her husband, and a husband to make a will leaving everything to his wife?" I said, "Did you make yours?" He said, "Yes." Then I looked at him very straight. I said, "I thought you told me you had not got anything." "Oh, well," he said, "I made a will just the same."
Thank you, Miss Rapley.
Miss Rapley, between the month of July 1912 and this year, did you discuss these events with anyone?
No, sir.
What? With no one?
I am not given to idle chit-chat, sir, but I assure you the matter did not pass from my mind. All the details were very much impressed upon me.
Well, there is a centre of gossip, is there not, in Herne Bay?
I know nothing about that.
Would you have any friends in Herne Bay?
I have not any of my own, sir. Of course, having lived there all these years, I know everyone and everyone knows me. But that does not follow that they are friends.
Therefore, we may take it that you have not said a single word about these occurrences which impressed you so much for over 2.5 years.
That is correct, sir.
Miss Rapley, do you in all sincerity pledge your word that you remember all the details of these conversations without having them recalled to your mind until now?
I do.
You have a wonderful memory.
I have.
Until Mr. Williams came to your place of business on the 16th of July, you had no suspicions of any kind against him.
No, sir.
He was a respectable and desirable tenant.
I thought so.
And then on the morning of the 16th of July, without any introduction of any sort or shape, he comes in, puts his head down on your desk and sobs.
That was it.
And you, naturally, with a woman's instinct, said, "What is the matter, Mr. Williams?"
Yes, sir.
And he said, "She is dead." And you said, "Dead who?"
Yes, sir.
And then,
I couldn't grasp what he meant.
And then, you say, he volunteered without any prompting on your part, "Was it not a jolly good job that I got her to make a will?"
Those were the exact words he used.
And that you swear?
I swear, absolutely.
Alfred Apps Hogbin, undertaker.
The funeral was to be moderately carried out at an expense of 7 guineas.
And the grave?
The prisoner did not wish to purchase a grave, sir. The lady was buried in a common grave.
A common grave?
What used years ago to be called a pauper's grave, shared with 8 or 9 others.
Then a headstone. I mean, did the prisoner purchase a headstone?
No, my lord. There was nothing in the cemetery to show where the woman was lying.
Well, Mr. Bodkin, that seems to be an appropriate moment.
All stand. All persons having anything to do before my lord the King's justices may depart hence and give their attendance tomorrow at 10:30.
That is the evidence relating to the death of Bessie Mundy. Taken by itself, it would probably have been insufficient to overturn the verdict at the coroner's inquest of accidental death and to have convicted Smith of murder. Bodkin, however, was now to turn to the fate of Alice Burnham, Smith's wife of 1913. While Smith was running around, he visited a nonconformist chapel in Southsea, where his gaze fell upon Alice Burnham, a buxom young nurse of 25. The prisoner wooed and won her. Within a few days she was writing to her married sister, "We met at the chapel I attend. I'm so happy, Rose dear. My heart and soul thank God continually for joining me to the love of so good a man. I am the most fortunate and happiest girl in the world." Within hours of proposing marriage and being accepted, he had persuaded Miss Burnham to draw all her money from the bank, the grand total amounting to £27, 19 shillings and 5 pence. He then insured her life for £500. This inauspicious wedding was celebrated on the 4th of November, 1913. No member of the Burnham family was present.
Well, sir, I tried my best to be fair to him, seeing that Alice had taken a fancy to him and wanted my daughter to be happy. I even went to fetch him from the station myself in the pony and trap from Ashton Clinton. But try as I would, sir, I could not be doing with him. I could not take to him, see? He kept poking around the house, examining the furniture, pulling it out, looking at the backs. Well, in the end, I told him to leave.
And did he leave?
Yes, sir. And he took Alice with him.
Did you see your daughter again?
No, sir. I find it hard to forgive myself. I should have known. I should have seen it.
Did you hear from the prisoner after this?
Yes, sir. He wrote me a letter asking for our Alice £100. That was her dowry, like.
When was this?
The November, sir. 12th of November, 1913.
Mr. Burnham, did you at that moment realize that your daughter was already married to the prisoner?
No, sir. More a pity. If I had known I'd go down to Portsmouth, I would have horsewhipped the pair of them.
Did you send the prisoner Alice's dowry?
No, sir. Oh, I wrote him a letter asking for a reference.
And did he furnish you with the reference as required?
No, sir, he did not. He sent me a most peculiar postcard.
Postcard exhibit number 183, dated the 24th of November, 1913, my lord. Sir, I answer to application regarding my parentage, etc. My mother was a bus horse, my father a cab driver, my sister a rough rider over the Arctic regions. My brothers were all gallant sailors on a steamroller. This is the only information I can give to those who are not entitled to ask such questions, contained in the letter I received on 24th inst. Your despised son-in-law, G. Smith.
They like it. Oh, my little Oedipus, we got chances. Oh, yes, we got chances.
Take him down.
Take your bloody hands off me. We're winning. Oh, yes, we are winning.
Of course we're winning, Georgie Porgy. They like you very much.
I made them laugh. I really made them laugh.
Well, everyone enjoys a good laugh, you know.
Well, I always say, you've got to see the funny side.
You're so right, Georgie. You're always so right.
I've been watching him all along. He's not stupid, you know. He takes my point. He knows there are certain times when a lady shouldn't never take a bath. And if she does take a bath and something happens, she brings it on herself.
Of course, dear. The filthy beasts.
Yeah, filthy beasts, a lot of them.
Well, everyone knows what can happen. They should all have a nice strip wash.
Like us.
Mrs. Crossley, will you describe to my lord and the jury the events of the evening of the 11th of December, 1913?
Mr. and Mrs. Smith went out about 6 o'clock. I saw them go myself. While they were out, my daughter prepared a bath. It was for Mrs. Smith. He'd ordered it specially. To make her more comfortable, he said.
Did the Smiths come back?
Yes, sir. They came back about 8 o'clock and went upstairs. My daughter, my son-in-law and I were having our tea in the kitchen at the time. While we were sitting in the kitchen, we noticed some water coming through the ceiling and running on both sides down the walls.
Was that a usual or an unusual thing to happen when someone is taking a bath in your house?
Most unusual, sir. We all three of us remarked on it.
Did you hear anything from upstairs?
No, sir. Nothing at all. And then he came in with 2 eggs for tomorrow's breakfast.
Did he speak to you?
Oh, yes, sir. He spoke to me quite normally. He told me about a new motor fire engine that was to be tried out next Monday and how he'd have to go and see it.
How long did he remain talking with you?
Oh, a short time. About 10 minutes, I dare say. And then off he went. I heard him call out, "Alice, put the light out when you've done." Well, sir, my daughter's name is Alice too. And she went on the stairs and said, "Did you call me, Mr. Smith?"
And did he answer?
Yes, sir. He said, "No, I was calling to my wife, but she does not answer me." Well, then I went out of the kitchen and went up 2 or 3 steps. Then I saw Mr. Smith standing in the bathroom doorway. He said, "Fetch the doctor." I said, "What is wrong?" He said, "My wife cannot speak to me. Fetch Dr. Billing. She knows him."
Dr. Billings?
Yes, Dr. Billing, sir. He lives near my home. I ran for him. He came. I waited on the stairs for him. When he came out of the bathroom, I said, "What's wrong?" He said, "She is drowned. She's dead."
Did you speak to the prisoner later that evening?
Yes, sir. He came into the kitchen after they got the poor lady out of the bath and laid her out. I said how dreadful, what an awful thing this is, and how I'd fix it for him to go and sleep at my neighbour's house.
And what did he answer to that?
He said not to bother, he'd sleep in their bed. I said, "You can't do that." He said, "When they're dead, they're dead."
The woman is a lunatic!
Don't you call me a lunatic, crippin'!
Mr. Smith! Mr. Smith!
Oh, excuse me, sir. I have to keep myself fit, sir. 5 years in the Northamptonshire Regiment, sir. Gymnasium instructor. Feel that? Not bad for 45, eh?
Mr. Smith, I must ask you to cease your interruptions forthwith. They are of no assistance to me, and they antagonize the court. If you feel you have to make comments on the evidence, kindly do it in writing and address your missives to me.
Deeply regret, sir. No offence meant, sir. Felt that the jury, being comprised of men of substance and property, sir, might look on me with more favour if they were first to grasp how deep-seated is my hatred of loose and filthy women, sir.
Be a good fellow, eh? And leave the jury to me.
All right, sir. Storm's the word, sir. Storm and crumb.
Dr. George Billing, General Practitioner.
Yes, sir, I do recognize the prisoner. I saw him for the first time on December the 10th, 1913. He came to see me with a young woman whom he said was his wife. He said she was suffering from headaches.
He said?
Yes, sir. As I recollect, he did all the talking. He said they'd come a long journey from Portsmouth or Bristol or somewhere.
Did you examine the young woman?
Yes, sir. Her pulse was rather lower than usual, but nothing out of the way. I asked her about the state of her bowels. She was suffering from constipation.
Disgusting.
So I looked at her tongue.
Who can blame me?
Foul. Dirty. That is to say, coated. I did not examine her any further. She looked rather tired. A short, pale woman, extremely fat. But from the medical viewpoint, she looked quite healthy.
Did you prescribe for her?
Yes, sir. I prescribed some tablets for the headache and a stomach powder. My fee was 3 shillings and 6pence, which the prisoner paid to me there and then.
Did you see the couple again?
Yes, sir. On the Friday night, I was called by Mrs. Crossley, who is known to me. Well, I went straight round to her house and then up to the bathroom, where I saw the prisoner supporting the head of the young woman. She was in the bath.
Did you notice anything particular about the prisoner's dress?
No, sir. Except that he had one sleeve rolled up. The left one, I believe. The one with which he was supporting the young woman.
Did you speak to the prisoner?
Yes, sir. I asked him why he had not lifted her out of the bath, and he replied that he could not. I then asked him why he had not pulled out the plug, and he said he had not thought of it. Well, together we lifted her out. The body was quite limp.
Having got her out of the bath, did you proceed to examine her?
She was dead, sir.
Will you look at the bath, Dr. Billing? There is no dispute about this. The bath in which Mrs. Smith met her death?
Yes, sir.
Will you demonstrate to my lord and the jury the position first of the deceased's head?
Here, sir.
And then of the base of the spine, the buttocks?
Approximately there, sir.
Thank you.
Tell me, Doctor, did it strike you as at all odd to find her head that end of the bath?
Yes, indeed it did, my lord. Extremely odd.
By 1914, George Joseph Smith must have believed he'd perfected a new method of undetectable murder. He had forgotten, however, or discounted the fact that he'd made 2 very dangerous enemies. Charles Burnham, the dead girl's father, and Mrs. Crossley, the landlady, who called him Crippen. Both of these two read the news of the world, and both came to the same conclusion when in December 1914 they read of the tragic death of a bride of one day drowned in her bath at Highgate. Miss Margaret Elizabeth Lofty was the daughter of a deceased clergyman and had been living with her mother and her sister at Bath. She made Smith's acquaintance, unknown to them, sometime in the autumn and became engaged to him. On this occasion, the accused married the deceased as John Lloyd, bachelor, at Bath on the 17th of December, 1914. Within the space of a few days, the prisoner and his bride had moved to London and taken lodgings in Bismarck Road, Highgate. They visited a solicitor in Islington, where Miss Lofty executed a will leaving everything to her husband, and then visited a doctor, Mr. Lloyd, doing all the talking. The following night, the landlady, a German lady, Mrs. Blatch, prepared a bath for the bride.
About 7:30, I went to the sitting room and told Mrs. Lloyd her bath was ready. I got the water hot and put towels and soap in the bathroom. I heated the water on the kitchen stove.
After you had told Mrs. Lloyd that her bath was ready, where did you go?
I went into the kitchen, sir, to do some ironing.
And while you were ironing in the kitchen, Mrs. Blatch, did you hear anything unusual?
First, I heard someone going upstairs, and I took it that Mrs. Lloyd was going for her bath.
And then?
After a few minutes, I heard a sound from the bathroom. It was a sound of splashing. Then there was a noise of someone putting wet hands or arms on the side of the bath, and then a sigh.
A sigh? What kind of sigh?
The kind of sigh a child might make while bathing, or a woman washing her hair.
Did you hear any other sound coming from the bathroom?
No, sir.
No?
The next sound I heard was someone playing the organ in the sitting room.
Good gracious me.
The playing went on for about 10 minutes.
Whatever were they playing? Well, whoever it was.
It was a hymn, my lord. Nearer, my God, to thee.
And how long did this concert continue?
For about 10 minutes. Afterwards, I heard the front door slam, and then the front door bell ring.
Did you answer the door?
Yes, sir, I did. And there was Mr. Lloyd saying, oh, I forgot I had the key.
Did he say anything else?
He said he'd been for some tomatoes for Mrs. Lloyd's supper. Then he said, is she down yet? I answered that I hadn't seen her. So he started upstairs with a bag of tomatoes. I was standing at the bottom. Then he shouted, there is no answer. And then there's no light. And then she's in the bath, come and help me. And I said, no, I cannot come, Mr. Lloyd. He called out again, don't leave me alone. Come and help me. When I got into the bathroom, he had Mrs. Lloyd in his arms. He was holding her up over the bath. Her legs were in the bath still. I felt her arm, and it was cold. I said I would go for the doctor and a policeman. On the day of the funeral, the prisoner told me he was going on a cycling tour and that he would be back for the inquest. The inquest was adjourned to the 1st of January, you see, and...
And come the 1st of January?
That morning, Mr. Lloyd called on me. We went together to the adjourned inquest. He remained with me after the inquest until he had to go back to Bristol.
That's my girl. Oh, you lovely Louisa.
Dr. Spilsbury, I was asking you last night about the possible positions of the women, the 3 positions standing, kneeling, and sitting while facing the narrow end of the bath with the back to the sloping end.
Yes, sir.
Now, supposing she was standing, facing the sloping end, and some sudden collapse occurred.
If she fell face downwards, she would probably drown.
And kneeling?
The same would probably occur. More probably occur.
Sitting, Dr. Spilsbury?
Sitting, she would fall backwards, but I do not think the mouth and nose would become submerged.
Arse over tit, tit over ass, what does it matter? They were all horrible and all dead. Foul-tongued, constipated. I'm telling you, my lords, ladies and gentlemen, I've done them a favour, they're better off dead. Now, don't say it. I'll say it for you. Take him down. Yeah, take me down. I want my tea. I'm telling you straight, I want my bloody tea. I'm fed up with a lot of you. I want my bloody tea. I want my bloody tea, I want my bloody tea. Take me back to me cell. Bang me up in me, Peter. I can't listen to all that nonsense. I'm too brave for the lot of them.
Pull yourself together, Smithy, and you shall have your tea. I know old Spilsby's long-winded. Yes, he definitely bores for England. But you can count yourself lucky you don't have to listen to him. Year in and year out like me and me mates here. That'll kill you. Yeah, I'll drink that and you'll feel better. Now, be a good fella, Smithy. We'll send a message to the judge saying you would like to apologise. And then we'll all go upstairs and listen to Mrs. Smith give her evidence.
Oh, my little Oedipus. Yeah, I like that.
Good man, she's next time.
Miss Edith Pegler, to whom Smith returned again and again.
It was through answering the advertisement that I first met the prisoner. He was then staying in the same road as I was, Gloucester Road, Bristol. He was carrying on business as antique and general dealer.
Under what name did he carry on business?
Why, his own name, sir. George Joseph Smith.
After answering the advertisement, did you and Mr. Smith come to an arrangement?
Yes, sir. I went to him as housekeeper. But after a little while, he made a suggestion to me, and, well, sir, I agreed to it. And we were married in Bristol on the 30th of July. I have my marriage lines to prove it.
Exhibit number 162, my lord. Miss Pegler, the marriage certificate describes the prisoner as George Joseph Smith, 33 years of age, bachelor. When you went through the ceremony of marriage, did you believe it to be lawful?
Lawful or no, sir, he's been a good husband to me. No woman could wish for better. Well, everything he's ever got. In the antique business, you understand, he's always brought home to me. Oh, beautiful dresses, rings and hats. Oh, and Christmas money. There was always plenty of money at Christmas. A nice piece of beef and a belly pork. Well, Mr. Smith is a clever man, you see, sir, and he does know a work of art.
You were my best work of art, Oedipus. Maybe the only one.
After the marriage, where did you and Mr. Smith make your home?
Oh, we went all over, sir. Well, Mr. Smith, he had a wandering nature, you see, sir. He'd been overseas before we were married. Spain and Canada and the like. Always buying and selling antiques.
But when you were with him, where did you live?
All different parts, sir. Bedford we were in, and Luton, Croydon, in Barking Road, London, and then we went to Walthamstow and Southend-on-Sea. We was always on the move, but Mr. Smith, he liked it that way. I used to say 'twas the gypsy in him.
And when you were not together, where did you go?
Oh, I went home to Bristol, sir, to my dear mother.
Miss Pegler, I'm afraid I have to put certain rather painful matters to you. Did you have any knowledge of your husband assuming the name of Williams and going through a ceremony of marriage at Herne Bay in 1912?
No, sir.
Or another such ceremony at Portsmouth in 1913?
No, sir.
Or another such ceremony, this time under the name of Lloyd, at Bath in 1914?
No, sir. And I don't know why I should. It's not right to go prying into a gentleman's business.
Above rubies.
Miss Pegler, you've mentioned a number of places at which you and he were together. Do you remember him saying anything as to a bathroom at any of these places?
Well, sir, he did mention to me once, just after last Christmas it was, that he wouldn't have anything to do with them if he were me, as they were dangerous.
Did he say how they were dangerous? Or to whom?
He said there had been cases known of women who had lost their lives through having fainting fits or weak hearts. He advised me against them. Well, that was part of his care for me, sir. You see, sir, he was a perfect husband.
The trial ran its predictable course right to the bitter end. Marshal Hall fought a gallant rearguard action on the issue of system. But even he must have known that once the evidence of the second and third drownings was admitted, the result was a foregone conclusion. After a retirement of only 20 minutes, the jury found Smith guilty of murder.
The sentence of this court upon you is that you be hanged by your neck until you are dead. And it is further ordered that judgment be carried into execution in His Majesty's prison
After his
at Maidstone.
appeal had been dismissed, Smith was transferred to Maidstone jail to await execution. There he was visited in the condemned cell by the ever-faithful Miss Pegler.
Come now, Oedipus, don't cry. We'll be together again, you see. Beyond them pearly gates on the other side.
I'm not really crying, George. It's just the Victoria plums. Trees all bending over with fruit and you not being there to eat them. You always did love a nice Victoria plum.
Come now, Oedipus, fancy crying over a load of Victoria plums. Eat 'em and think of me. Now, promise me you will be strong. You won't cry on the day.
I promise, George.
I will be strong. I do love you, George. You was a perfect husband to me. The best husband a woman could have. The most perfect husband in the world.
I know she loves me. I know she loves me because she said so. She is my lily of Laguna. She is my lily and my rose. She's my lady love. She is my love, my turtle dove.
In spite of vigorous pleas by Marshal Hall, who believed that he was clinically insane, and by the Bishop of Woolwich, who, after conversations with the ministers who had visited Smith in the condemned cell, believed him to be truly penitent, the Home Secretary refused to reprieve him, and he was hanged on the 13th of August, 1915.
Of Laguna, she is my lily and my rose.